the focus, I kind of put a big emphasis on the technology, but I guess the one thing I'd say too is as much as the technology is changing and enabling that change, it's also very important that the right people are involved in this change, because it's almost a paradox, but whoever is going to be managing these changes in an organization for a business to be successful needs to oversee many different parts of the organization.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Engatica's interview series. I'm your host Palak and we are really glad to have you join us today. And today we have Kate Arndt, AI and Analytics Enthusiast on the show. Welcome, Kate.
Thank you so much.
So the Engatica interview series is a powerhouse of insights from industry experts and influencers from around the world. A platform that provides the latest news on AI, automation, and technologies that will help you grow your business. Come be a part of your community, learn, share, and grow with us. So before we, just to start with the interview, the first question I'd like to ask you is how Industry 4.0 technologies are changing manufacturing. I'd love to know your insights on that question.
Right. So it's we finally are in the fourth industrial revolution, which is great because it's been a while since we've had an opportunity to leverage technology in a way that is game changing. And that's kind of where it will impact manufacturers, is that the technologies that exist through this revolution is they're all enablers to growth and an increase in production. And essentially the manufacturers that are taking advantage of these technologies are setting up for success, whether it's a competitive advantage through increasing efficiencies, being able to meet their customers' demands on time, being more efficient with their resources, and better understanding their inventory. The technology is really an eye-opener into all things throughout that entire process.
I would also like to ask you your thoughts on from stream to the sensor, a historical context for Industry 4.0. What do you think about that?
Right. So I love this question. When I saw it, it made me laugh because it's right. The first, I guess, revolution was with basically taking processes. When you were producing something, you did it by hand. And then they started to use actual like steam and water powered machines to mass produce. So it's a lot easier than just doing it by hand or, with sometimes the aid of animals. That was 1.0. And then 2.0, that's really just leveraging electricity. So powered by oil and gas typically, but that was also a big change, as well as the assembly line kind of comes in around 2.0. 3.0 is more about the introduction to digitalization with computers and automation. But 4.0, we're now kind of intersecting the physical and digital world in a way that's much more holistic and connected.
Great. Whenever I'm looking up all these interviews about Industry 2.0, 3.0, I'm always wondering what does 3.0, 4.0 mean. So it's great to learn what it finally means.
Yes, exactly.
I'd also like to ask, what technologies are driving Industry 4.0 according to you?
So there's a lot, right? So that's like the cool thing in these industrial revolutions. It's always driven by technology, and this one is full blown, a lot more complex than the other ones. But essentially, the Internet of Things, being able to connect all of the devices that are in your facility. With digitalization, we've also improved our understanding of our operations through sensors that are, in your production, and, robotics. Basically, all of the data that's being produced is then interconnected with the applications that we're using to leverage that data into all of these efficiencies that I was mentioning earlier. So that also includes anything that has to do with cybersecurity, anything that has to do with data analytics, AI, machine learning, virtual reality, augmented reality. All of these components are technologies that in some way impact the Industry 4.0 changes.
Yeah, those are some wonderful insights. We also like to know Industry 4.0 and hybrid multi-cloud IT architecture. What are your thoughts about that? What do you think? Would you would love to pick your brain on those topics?
This one's a hot topic for me. So I work with manufacturers to help them leverage their data through machine learning and AI. And the easiest way to do that would be is if they have their data stored on a cloud, usually. This is something where manufacturers, depending on their needs, have very different ideas of which strategy they'd like to choose. So the two, I guess, main strategies there that you mentioned are the hybrid cloud approach, which is basically they still keep their private data storage, data lake that they have in-house or on-prem. And then they also supplement sometimes with a public cloud. So that's hybrid. And then a multi-cloud approach is when they will use multiple different public cloud providers. And that's typically the case if they want to make sure that the data is available at all times. So if one, public cloud provider has an issue, then the workload can be moved to another one without any interruption, which is very important when it comes to manufacturing and getting real-time understanding and information of your production line.
Thank you for simplifying the terms so much. It makes it so much easier to understand such difficult terms. Before leaving, are there any other sound bites you would like to share with our audience? We'd love to know if you have any advice for us.
So I guess the focus, I kind of put a big emphasis on the technology, but I guess the one thing I'd say too is as much as the technology is changing and enabling that change, it's also very important that the right people are involved in this change, because it's almost a paradox, but whoever is going to be managing these changes in an organization for a business to be successful needs to oversee many different parts of the organization and various different technologies and a lot of vendors and a lot of options to create the right foundations for success. And that takes a lot of emotional intelligence to be able to work with like such diverse groups of people and different types of technologies. So it's really important to have somebody that can manage those changes and implement it in a way that is well received by people, the rest of the people in the organization that are going to be overall adopting this and very much affected by these changes.
Well, Kate, this has been wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing your valuable insights with us. For more content, please subscribe to Engati and tap the bell icon to get access to exclusive content from thought leaders from around the world. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next episode soon. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you so much.